This the link up. This the link up. This the link up. Welcome to the link up. This the link up. This the link up. This the link up. Welcome to the link up. Oh.
Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Link Up Podcast with your host, Mr. King. No Kana today, and Woods in the building.
I have returned from my apparent
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
injury. Yeah. My anal. But yeah, no, it's a time again.
But yeah, no Kana here because he busy enjoying all the festivities.
Why you gotta lie? We all know what's wrong with this man.
Okay, you're right. My bad.
Explosive diarrhea.
My bad. But you know, for the people who don't feel like listening to Woods and would actually be curious to see as to, you know, what the truth might be, man enjoying the festivities. For the meaning, right now it's Carnival season on the island. You know, big festivities and celebrations and parties and parades and shows and all kind of stuff going on.
People getting on wild and doing scandalous shit.
And pretty much, like, my memory is bad and I don't know the exact date, but it seems as though yesterday or the day before was Juve and stuff, you know what I mean? Things I would just see in the timeline filled with a whole bunch of clips.
Face sitting.
What?
Yes. I saw that.
Really?
That happened.
Oh yeah, and Rashid Hill, you know?
I guess.
Yeah, he and Berlin.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, face sitting in the city, on the streets, like nothing's happening.
Well, it's Carnival. There's lots of things. I know what you want me to say. There's lots of things that happen during Carnival time. That's
people them enjoying themselves. Huh?
Yeah, that's all you got to pretty much chalk it up to. Can't judge too harshly during Carnival time. It's time to free up.
Okay, everybody has their fetishes. I just stated, you know. I saw people sitting on other people's faces and then, but anyway, no.
I mean, that's Carnival. That's what happens. But yeah.
You a Carnival baby?
I have no idea.
You a Carnival baby?
I never did.
Describe Carnival baby.
Like,
what month were you born in? Is it 9 months after Carnival?
Me specifically, I born July.
Like, if you feel like doing the maths, I born January, so you could tell me what I mean.
Yeah, that's why I say I born July, because I don't know where he was going to go with it.
I mean, like, for me, like,
Carnival's in April, 9 months after that is what? What month is that?
That's...
Somebody do the math. Am I brain in the appropriate state to think? You're a programmer, you're supposed to be smart.
So, that would be January. Right? Because it's 3 months. March.
January, February, April. Wait, what? That's a month.
You know, I just realized now exactly what you meant by Carnival baby. But, you know, continue. I just catch on. My bad.
So, no, wait. Carnival is in April, not in March. What are you talking about?
January, February, March.
So, that was February.
The fourth month. The fourth month, 4 plus 9 is what? 13. So, that would mean you back in January again. So, I might be. Who knows?
Okay. Well, yeah. In Aruba,
yeah, but also coincidentally, my mother's birthday is like during Carnival as well. So maybe I was a
birthday baby.
Yeah, I don't know what the occasion was that they were celebrating, and you know, I never asked.
Like technically, I could be considered like a Carnival baby because I was born prematurely. And Carnival in Aruba is like in February, but my parents were living in the Netherlands, so that don't count. I by default cannot be a Carnival baby.
Because there was no Carnival.
Because there was Carnival, but it's not the Carnival that people talk about.
Well, like y'all did see any clips of the Ja Rule and Ashanti performance and whatnot? I don't know.
I saw a little bit. I think on Instagram it was a lot of fireworks. I saw. I was questioning whether or not they wanted to see the crowd themselves because there was a lot of fireworks in front of them. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't follow Ja Rule's life like that no more.
Yeah, I don't follow these people, but it's just because they perform in Siman, so like they perform for Siman Carnival. So I
heard that he was like in the airport and nobody gave one shit. No one even went and say hi or autograph, nothing.
I don't know. Like, I doubt that. From Simon people, I doubt that.
I mean, the village was packed.
No.
Yeah, but because it was Kerry Hilson, Beyonce, not Beyonce.
Ooh.
Kerry Hilson, Ja Rule, and Ashanti.
Yeah.
They all was performing on one night as like some soul something. I forgot the actual name
Soul
of
Beach?
the event. Nah, because it was in the Carnival village. No beach involved. But it was some soul something. I don't remember the name of it. But, I mean, it looked like an interesting show. I mean, I probably would have gone if I was on Simon type vibe. Ja Rule and Ashanti, giving all the 2000s hits and stuff like that during their run. I mean, you gotta admit, that was a time.
Yeah, it was a good run.
That
but I think the thing is, if I see Ja Rule now, I'll probably laugh, dog.
Fire Festival.
Not just that, like the whole 50 Cent clowning thing, like there's so many stuff.
I don't blame you.
I remember in the beginning when I heard Ja Rule in a song, I was like, okay, there's like a good possibility this song is going to be dope. Now every time I hear, it's murder, I start to giggle a bit.
Oh, how times have changed.
You just a true representation of how fickle fans could be. It's like
that's the truth, though.
People was all on bandwagon on the team during the wave in the 2000s. Like I said, with all the Ashanti tracks, the Murder Inc. era.
Yeah, I mean the Murder Inc. era was good, but I mean the man, he kind of, he's the reason that he has the image I have of him right now. It's him and 50 Cent, mostly him though. The Fire Festival was the peak. Yeah, it was the peak.
Yeah.
But what he do, in your opinion, that himself that results in you seeing him as like?
I don't know. I think it was just like there's a lot of things.
More 50 involvement in that.
Probably.
Like, yeah, it
50 was the catalyst of the cloning of Ja Rule.
Yeah, for sure. But it was also like, I don't know, like the Need for Speed movies, like his cameo in that also made me look at him as like a joke in a jokey type of way.
Need for Speed?
Oh, I mean Fast and the Furious. Yeah.
Because I was wondering, like, did they make a Need for Speed movie that I didn't know about?
I mean, they did make a Need for Speed movie. It's trash.
I didn't see it.
Exactly. Yeah. That shit went straight to DVD. I'm not sure if that's true, but
that was in theaters, man.
It's more fun if it is true. Well, Ja Rule, such a shame.
Yeah, but the man,
I mean, he was the Drake before Drake, technically.
Yeah, I mean,
singing rapper.
That's a conversation that I've seen people had and say. Like, if you want to go to Ja Rule, then you could go to like a lot of people that also kind of sung rap. I mean, I don't know all the names historically of the people who kind of dabbled in those lanes before Drake. Yeah. I mean, you could give it to Bone Thugs as well.
Yep.
Like,
but I mean,
the name is Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of like the type of music, like I can take like always
people
on my
kind of say Nate Dogg in a certain way, although he wasn't much of a rapper, so that's kind of the knock against Nate Dogg, because he was more just the kind of singing. It was just Drake type of singing, like it's not Trey songs or opera type. I'm extremely super vocally talented singing.
He was more
melodic.
Yes, that was his
like
thing.
Nate Dogg would have fit in perfect with the era today.
Yeah,
it's like everybody just rapping nowadays just sounds more or less like what Nate Dogg was doing back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, this could be a long conversation depending on all the names that you decide to look at. But I don't know
a lot of people out there.
In the history of rap, like there's all kind of people before my time that was doing similar stuff.
For sure.
Well.
Like if you go back enough, then like there's always a originator of the originator.
But Ja Rule, I mean, people give it to Nelly as well. Nelly was one of them people that was singing and rapping early too, doing melodic singing.
Nelly, I would compare a little bit more in that range because
he closer to Nate Dogg for sure.
Yeah,
but he was a contemporary of Ja Rule when Ja Rule was. A little later than Ja Rule, I would say, probably. Yeah. I don't.
Or that time period is like kind of blurry. They all feel like they came out at the same time. It's like 2000s hit.
Early 2000s, yeah.
Air Force Ones.
The All Blacks.
Yo, did they ever explain that patch on his face?
The band.
Yeah.
From Nelly?
Yeah. Is there an explanation to that?
I still wonder about it today.
It was swag, okay? The Band-Aid was swag.
With the headband.
Like who came up? Like who was the marketing genius? It was like, we have to set you apart from the rest of the group.
But Put a bandage on the eye.
I mean, who told crisscross to wear the clothes backwards? Like,
I mean, it's the group is called crisscross.
Who told people to pull one pants leg up and put the other one down?
I know where that came from. That story is not a fun one. We all did it, but what it actually, like, you never had like your pants sag a little?
No, I'm not talking about the sagging. I'm talking about a pants leg up, a pants leg down.
Oh, I never did that shit.
That was also in at a certain point in the 2000s-ish era. Like, there was lots of ridiculous shit fashion-wise, style-wise that was going on. So
True. I mean, it's still going on. People wearing G-strings as clothing, you know.
I guess.
Not me, but people are.
Okay.
Type it in Google. Don't. You know, I said it and then I was like, no, wait, no, children might be listening to this.
He's a fool. He's a fool. Alright, so as soon as my phone unlock, I'm going to get to topics and look at the list of what all we got to discuss today.
I don't know if y'all noticed, but this is going to be a funny episode.
I mean, it's just the homies chilling. That's basically all we're trying to do today.
Yeah.
So yeah, like one of the things I was saying before we started, I mean, there was the whole Will Smith thing, the Bel-Air trailer, something that we kind of discussed previously, but there was the update, in my opinion, that kind of made it interesting. Is that like on Will Smith's YouTube channel, he recently posted a video where he met the dude who did this trailer and the whole concept for it. And it seems as though this guy is actually attached to some legitimate stuff or some somewhat legitimate stuff. And he did some Cobra Kai series or something like that, that it seems to be like a YouTube original. I really don't know nothing about it, so I can't tell you nothing about the stuff that he did. But I just saw people mentioning in the comments saying like, yo, you know, if he did a good job with this and that, they hope he probably gonna do a good job with this Bel-Air series and blah blah blah. So it seems like the director of that trailer, he has some legitimacy to him. He has some work under his belt that people can see his work is decent. But other than all of that, I just felt it was interesting seeing a Will reaching out to him, and it just had me thinking like, I don't know if the entire series is already shot or what's the situation with that, but it seems like this is a legitimate thing, and if Will giving his approval of it, it makes me kind of reconsider my standpoint on it a little bit. Like, if Will is actually involved, maybe, I don't know if he's necessarily going to be involved, but if they met, he's aware of it, he kind of agrees with the idea and thinks that it will be dope doing a dramatic storytelling, because it's still like the premise, but they're taking it in a complete different direction, because it's kind of not focused on the comedy as much and blah, blah, blah. And he is on board with that whole idea. So I would like to see him get involved as like an executive producer or something, just kind of oversee it to some degree to make sure, maybe make a little cameo or something in it. Something like that may get me involved to actually, watch it and check it out.
So it's more so like inspired by the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air rather than...
It's not like a direct remake of the series or nothing like that. There's obviously new actors, and it's set in modern times and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, we have no idea where it's going, if it's going to be picked up, according to me. So that's why, to me, it's like there's a trailer and we don't know what's happening with it. That's why I'm just like, I hope Will gets involved and somebody uses his star power connections to make some things happen, to get it on a Netflix or something like that. I mean, he obviously he knows some people over there with his Bright movie that premiered on Netflix. So, I mean, he got to know some people over there at Netflix. And he's Will Smith.
Yeah, shout out to Bright.
You enjoyed the movie?
No, I enjoyed the soundtrack of the movie. Yeah.
I didn't see it myself.
It
wasn't trash, but it wasn't great neither. It was okay.
It was like, if it's a Sunday and you got a beer and you want to watch something, you could watch that.
Yeah, it's not like a complete waste of time.
Yeah,
it's like you're not gonna mind to watch it.
Yeah,
but it's just, to me, it's not like the most deeply original or unique story or nothing like that. But it's an okay movie.
They hell try to be super original, but then they just end up being
standard.
It's a buddy cop movie with elves and
mythical
magic
creatures.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
All right. Bright.
Bright 2 coming into
Nah.
No theaters anytime soon.
We don't need a break too.
We can't get it.
Not everything need a sequel.
I also, this is like completely random and off topic, but I also recently found out that there was an Avatar The Last Airbender comic that like continued the story after the series finished. I was never aware of this, and like
it goes all the way to the point that Aang grows up. I think I read it.
Was it good?
True.
It's the same person that write the actual stories. So.
I saw people in the comments on some of the stuff I was watching that made me aware that these comments existed. Like people saying that the comments were not good. The writing on it is a different kind of feel and is slightly different feel to the show in the way they wrote it. I can't speak to that because I haven't read it, so I have no idea. Maybe if there's any truth to that legitimacy.
Maybe in the sense that the characters are changing. And the story changes because the characters changed.
I saw some people also say like there were certain stories in there that they feel that they kind of try to provide explanations to, but the explanations they did was like they wasn't the most well written. So it's like it was better off in a way that you left certain mystery. Like suppose the explanation of what happened to Zuko's mother, for example. Yeah, people was like criticizing. It's like the mystery of Zuko's mother's past and everything like that. They could have leave it how it was in the series, where there's still some kind of unanswered questions because the answers that they gave wasn't really satisfactory. Yeah,
sometimes the answers you got is not satisfactory. You gotta live with it. I guess, sometimes some people like let the person that created the thing tell what he wants to tell. You're going to either love it or hate it. You have to enjoy the journey, not the final destination.
Yeah. Sometimes people just want to rush through the story to get to the end instead of like enjoy the journey to it.
It's not about the end; it's the journey.
Yeah. I also recently had watched the trailer for the Aladdin thing. I actually decided to watch the trailer for it, and I don't know if it looked as terrible.
Which trailer did you see?
I think the most recent one. They have more than one.
There was the first reveal where they just showed
the blue person.
Yes, and.
Because the one I saw was more extensive, and they showed the different forms, and it was like I think that was like the proper like trailer.
Yeah.
And it don't look terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, we live in a world where Thanos.
I still don't think it was necessary, but I mean,
we live in a world where Thanos looks like a legit actual person that could be sitting next to us and snapping everybody out of existence. Scary ass man. And it's coming from the same company. And it's one of their like highly rated movies ever.
So you're still not satisfied with the blue?
I would expect that the CGI at least be somewhat on that level. If you have Pokemon making like a CGI that looks legit really good,
but that's creatures.
Luckily,
yeah, but I mean, creatures are way harder to do than a CG genie.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but you're also trying to incorporate, the actor's face into it. I mean, like you said, the example with Thanos, that's a great example because that's an actual person that playing Thanos, and they managed to make him look really good. Yeah. So when you compare that to what you see in Aladdin, I don't blame you for having such questions at all. Yeah. But then when you look at Pokemon, that's like creatures you could just, you have these cartoon.
I understand, but it's harder to make cartoons look realistic.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that was my biggest concern when I heard the movie was coming out, because I am quite the fan of Pokemon. So
me too.
When I heard,
they just don't want to admit it.
I feel like I've admitted it before. I was one of those people playing Pokemon Go and shit when it came out. I just don't got no consoles to continue playing Pokemon, like the real Pokemon game.
You gotta buy a Switch.
Well, I do. I'm waiting for it to come out later this year.
I don't get a Switch and never play it.
You say that now, but then you Smash Brothers, and then I'm gonna tell you, King, let me cut your ass.
I can get a Switch and never play it. Like I'm pretty sure at this point in my life. Yeah. So
yeah.
But either which way, when I first saw that the movie was coming out, I was concerned because like, how are they going to translate these?
That's
some of these
the
iconic
concern with anime. Don't make anime live action.
Especially
Every
that.
time you make anime live action, it almost always goes wrong.
There's
very few examples of it going right.
I was a little bit more like okay with it because it's a westernized film, but it's still under the umbrella of the Pokemon company. So all hands are, they're the ones touching everything. It's not some LA guy in the States looking at a couple of episodes and then assuming, okay, this is what it is, so we're going to try and westernize it. No, they just they're not making an origin. It's like, oh no, this world already exists. Everybody and their grandmother know what Pokemon is. We don't have to do an origin story of how these creatures came to be. No, it's a world, they exist. There's a story within that.
And all we could do was Detective Pikachu.
Yo, like, it's a Trojan horse.
It might be the start.
Trust me.
It might be the start.
It's a Trojan. It's perfect. You know why? Because it's a buddy cop movie. It's a detective. Who doesn't love a mystery?
Yeah. A lot of people.
It's super. You don't like detective movies?
Like, if you're talking, like, depends on what you
like Batman? He's essentially a detective.
Wow. Okay.
If you know, I mean, it's true.
There's buddy cop movies and there's detective movies.
But
to me, they're similar. To me,
what is Robin? Is he not a buddy to the cop? Is Batman?
Okay, Edwards. Using your logic, you're completely right. Yes, I guess it's a buddy cop movie, but that's if all buddy cop movies was like Batman, then cool. If you give me the Dark Knight out of Detective Pikachu, I'm all on board. But for some reason, I don't think Pikachu is going to be the Dark Knight.
I mean, he could be a Deadpool.
No, this is supposed to be a kid's movie, isn't it? Is it not like the lead being the dude from Everybody Hates Chris or something like that? That's who it is playing the main character, right?
No. Pikachu is legit Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, but
the other character is not the guy who played Chris.
No. Some young black dude.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Isn't he a Smith?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
I don't want to say Kevin Smith because that's not true. But he's a Smith.
I mean, I only know Jaden and Willow.
And he's not. Son.
There's Trey.
But Trey, I don't think he's a Smith of those Smiths. He's just a Smith.
I'm not sure.
Those are the only Smiths I recognize.
There's more Smiths in the world.
Those are the only ones I recognize.
I can understand.
So, homie in the corner. I mean, you saw the Avengers movie.
No
spoilers.
No, I did.
But basic questions. In your mind, did it live up to the hype?
Oh God, I don't even want to hear this.
No, I mean, don't leave my mislead you.
Okay.
I was getting to the point of like, people gonna overhype the movie. It's an Avengers movie, so I guess my expectations were properly set for myself. Then having watched all the movies prior, and I thought it was a fitting end.
Okay,
I'm gonna just leave it there. I thought it was a fitting end to the 12-year-long series of movies.
You think it's done? You think that was the last one?
We'll watch the movie. Go watch the movie, and then we can talk about it more.
Too?
Huh?
What about Black Panther 2?
No, it's Black Panthers, man. They're not gonna do Black Panther 2. It's Black Panthers.
Whatever it's gonna be. I want this with the sequel to Black Panther.
It's coming.
That's what they can't be done with movies if they ain't give me no sequel to Black Panther.
I mean, Spider-Man already have trailers out there, so we know it's not the end, right? But I mean, it's called Endgame for a reason, and I think if you watch it, you're gonna understand exactly where they're coming from with that title.
But I thought Endgame was set way in the future.
Go watch the movie, and we could talk about it.
Because that Spider-Man movie is in the past. Before Endgame, I think. Yeah.
Could be. I mean, I got to see the movie, right? Spider-Man, yet, so.
Yeah, that's true.
And I haven't been. I don't really try to look up so much information. No, I mean I do follow the timelines and whatnot, but you have people that is like want to look up all the information before the movie comes out.
Okay, I don't do that
because then you kind of like overhype yourself or you set the wrong kind of expectations. And honestly, expectations are everything. So.
Yep, indeed.
I try to manage my expectations accordingly. So.
You all watch Gundam ever?
I used to watch Gundam Wing back when he used to show on Cartoon Network on Command and stuff. Yeah.
Gundam movie.
Gundam, is one of those movies they could do right.
Yeah, because it's like
it's robots.
But it's not just that. Like if they nail it good, like the whole political aspect of it, like because there's never like a right or a wrong, like just two sides fighting.
Mm-hmm. The one thing that I'm super curious about is the live action Avatar movie, series. I mean.
Is it on Netflix?
Last Airbender.
It's coming to Netflix whenever it comes out.
So then I can expect movie quality. Y'all
saw the movie from the live action movie from the
Avatar Last Airbender. And that was trash because it was M. Night Shyamalan. He was the director, and apparently that was one of the things that he wanted to assuage and give the fans a little confidence that it won't be like that, because the Aaron E. has, or whatever his name is, like the main people who create the Avatar series, they're still on board with this live action series. So hopefully it's a lot more true to the actual.
I was so disappointed by that live action.
Can we?
Yeah, when I saw we just pretend it never happened. When I saw it was M. Night Shyamalan
doing that, I just already knew. Like,
blame the director. That's how we do it. That's how we do it.
Every M. Night Shyamalan movie is a Shyamalan movie. That like after you watch a movie, it's like what the like it's always there's always a what the fuck have I just seen.
To me, the only thing that could compete with that is the Dragon Ball movie. Like, I don't know which one was worse.
Luckily, I didn't see that one, but I have heard of it.
Don't waste your time.
Honestly, I think the Dragon Ball movie is worse. Because at least, at the bare minimum, the Avatar movie somewhat follows the premise of...
At least the first book.
Yeah.
Parts of the first book.
It follows, like, the core concept is there.
Yeah, but they tried to fit way too much in just one
movie. But the Dragon Ball Z movie, dog, you could legit just tell me it wasn't Dragon Ball Z and I would believe you.
And honestly, that's one of the things that I see as kind of like a redeeming quality almost of the Pokemon thing. Because of the fact that it's like, okay, we're doing this Detective Pikachu thing as something like... It's so different from what Pokemon actually is in a way. It could either go really good or really bad in a sense. That it's not Ash. It's not
exactly.
I'm trying to become like it's just something that's happening in the world of
watch.
But it's actually also based off of the spin-off game.
Yeah,
I heard something like that. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, it's not. You don't have to know. Like, someone that doesn't even watch Pokemon can just watch this movie because there's no battles, there's no stats, there's no he got poisoned, like there's nothing. There is no like it's going to obviously be there, but you don't have to have any prior knowledge of it to watch the movie. And that's why I think that movie is probably going to be the highest grossing movie of this year.
Okay,
I'm looking forward to it, man. Honestly, I'm looking forward to it.
For Pokemon.
Yo, nothing did what Pokemon Go did in
Lion
our
King
lifetime.
Pokemon, not even Lion King.
Pokemon.
Not even Avengers.
Pokemon. Yo, y'all forgetting what Pokemon Go did, no?
I understand.
I mean, I agree.
Pokemon Go, like there's
Pokemon
nothing.
Is huge.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to take that.
There's a reason why it's the highest grossing franchise over Star Wars.
Pokemon is a juggernaut, but like, I'm not gonna go and say that Detective Pikachu gonna beat out Avengers. Like I said, that's a 12-year long.
Yo, Pokemon is a 20-30 year long. There's never been a live action
movie.
Yes, with the clout of Pokemon Go and all of that.
I mean, a lot of people definitely gonna watch it because you got people from the first generation that gonna watch it. You got kids from this generation that gonna go watch it. You got a lot of people that gonna go see it. I agree, but I can't really predict how big it's going to be.
That's why
I can legit predict how big it's going to be.
That's why I feel like Lion King is one of those that might, because I'm not trying to say Lion King is Pokemon, but ain't too far off. They certainly are compared with like in terms of fandoms that they have for certain people. Like Lion King is one of those things.
Man. Pokemon is bigger. Pokemon has been consistent. Pokemon has legit created new fans.
Yeah,
every generation.
But I felt like Lion King and Disney World is one of those things that it's. I guess the reach is slightly smaller, but it's one of those things through merchandise and all of these things. They keep it alive, even though there was the different remakes. I know that was all within like my generation that like grew up in the 90s or whatever. Whenever Lion King came out, it probably came out before then, but I mean that's when
it was around our generation.
Yeah, but for that generation of people that was able to see The Lion King and The Lion King 2 and
one and a half.
We don't talk about those other ones.
That was great. What are you talking about?
No, the first one was masterpiece. The second one's alright.
Yeah, but you have
So
to be
you don't
getting
like
into it.
I mean, I don't hate him.
1.5.
But I mean, it's the same thing with The Matrix, right? The first one, amazing.
Oh, like Nali had a daughter, like they had the other female.
Something
like,
so. Yeah.
See, we gotta stop with this now.
What?
See?
Stop it what?
It was a simple story of a little cub growing up to become a king.
Yeah, but they stopped. Like they didn't do like the Fast and Furious and make 9 of them.
Trust me, if the other two movies did what it was supposed to do, they would we would have had Lion King.
We have a couple cars. Like they had like what 2 or 3 cars movies, something like that.
Yeah, because those movies gross a shit ton of money.
Yeah, so maybe you're right. But like they don't need to do that. I mean, they have more than enough unique ideas. I feel like that has come to Disney.
Really?
Yeah,
they're just remaking all of their old movies.
Yeah,
yeah, no.
You got Dumbo coming as well.
No,
Dumbo looks like trash.
You know what I also saw? I saw something about a live action Lilo and Stitch.
They gotta stop. See, I
like
think Lilo and Stitch can work.
I love Lilo and Stitch.
I feel like it could work.
That one can work, but the Dumbo one looks Dumbo.
Yeah,
it looks dumb.
It doesn't look interesting.
I remember the Lilo and Stitch series with
and
a whole bunch of other people, all the other experiments that come to the earth and whatnot.
And honestly, even the Lion King movie, when you compare the Lion King movie with the original, with the scenes, like I would still prefer to watch the animated version. No. It's way more expressive.
That's like one of my main concerns anytime you take an anime and making it live action, because like with a Samurai X or with an Avatar, for example, the comedy, the humor, like the facial expressions and stuff like that, the things that you could do with people's bodies physically that played into the humor.
You could still do it depending on how realistic you're going with it. We're going back to Pokemon. Like Pokemon, it's realistic, but they still maintain that cartoonish, expressive look to them. Except for Charizard, because he just looks like a beast.
Yeah, but
Charizard is meant to look that way.
But there's the difference.
The Lion King ones legit looks like a legit lion, and they don't even have that cartoonic aesthetic to them. And that's the difference. Like he doesn't look like a counterpart to the. It's not like they took the anime and
it's
made
not just a 3D version of.
Yes, that's the difference.
I see what you're saying, but to me, like that's part of the problem in a way. Like it's I don't know. I just don't want it to lose stuff.
It is going to lose something.
You need to remake it in such a way that the things that it have really drive it. Like the story is so good, the characters, something about it is like.
I mean, don't get me wrong. This movie cannot be bad, just because it's a remake of arguably one of the best stories ever.
I mean, I'm definitely going to go and watch it.
So the story is going to be good. The movie is not going to be bad, but it's just going to be different, and that difference might not make it as good as what the cartoon was. It's not a bad thing.
And all of this is like goes into what Rashid was saying earlier about managing expectations.
Yeah.
The fact that we would even have the original in mind and would want to compare it to see like which one was better type of thing, all of that could completely ruin.
It's Lion King, man.
Yeah.
A person like us that actually saw the original thing versus somebody of maybe a later generation who never saw the cartoon Lion King would go in there and be like, yo, this shit is amazing. Potentially.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, if a little kid has not seen Lion King, those parents are failing hard.
I mean,
you gotta teach the son about that.
What would be a series or so that you make sure your kids watch?
Well, Lion King for sure, Dragon Ball Z,
One Piece. 100%. If it finished by then, hopefully.
I mean, yeah.
If it finished, like,
I mean, apparently now we're at 80%.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 700 something episodes, 80%.
Yeah.
Like for me, it'd be Avatar.
Avatar, man. That was definitely a great series, man. You know,
like, Avatar,
the first one. The first one, I also did enjoy the second one with
I like both of them. To me, I just love the world of Avatar, the world that they created with the bending, with the whole Eastern philosophies and stuff attached. That's why I like the first one a little bit more than the second.
Naruto as well, not the Shippuden, no fuck that. Just the tuning exam and all that. Like, I will show him like Naruto had his highlights.
Like for me, it would be like Avatar, a different world would definitely be there as well.
Princess Mononoke.
I haven't seen that one.
What is that?
That's from Studio Ghibli.
Okay.
Any Studio Ghibli movie actually. But that's the first one I watch and arguably the best.
The dragon.
You gotta give more.
I know. I just remember
talking about Asian movies, man. Almost all of them have some type of dragon in it.
There was one Studio Ghibli one with a white flying dragon. Like and it was like an integral part of this. I think it was a Ghibli one. I believe.
I mean, it could be Ghibli inspired.
I have no idea.
Because like you have like those movies that look like a Ghibli movie, but then it's not. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't remember a dragon though in a Ghibli movie, like a legit main, like one of the main characters was a dragon. I don't remember that. I remember a snuggly little.
I think that was itself. Like that was the whole premise. I don't remember nothing about the story. I just remember there be like that's why this question don't even make sense. I don't remember nothing about it. I just remember there was dragon involved in it. And I just know Studio Ghibli.
I see this man watch Dragon Ball Z, confuse it with Ghibli.
Nah. Dragon Ball Z. I know what Dragon Ball Z is. I know what Dragon Ball Z is.
Nah, but Avatar is definitely one of those I think I'm going to leave my kids watch as well. You know, when I reach that point in life. Avatar itself is just one of those special cartoons to me because it was like one of those I used to sit and watch with my mother. She used to sit down and actually watch with me, and she remember till this day she doesn't remember it. And like I was thinking about it the other time, like I want to get a tattoo eventually, right? And it's going to be Aang, and it's supposed to represent my mom because she used to watch it with me, right? And you know like how Aang needed to learn the 4 elements to become the Avatar, right? To become this savior of worlds, so to speak. I kind of parallel it to my mom because she always tell me how she learned from her kids, and there's 4 of us. So you got the 4 elements, which are the children, and then you got my mom, and then as we came along, she learned from each child. So that's kind of like
interesting. Yeah. But you want to make your mother look like Aang?
No.
Okay.
No.
I mean, just try to make sure I got that idea.
No, it's going to be Aang. It's going to be Aang, but it's supposed to symbolize.
Okay.
My mom. Yeah. I wasn't trying to put my mom as an avatar, dog. Nah.
That would bye.
I just try to picture it in my head. Exactly. Like, I don't know what your mother looked like, but I just imagine a lady that's now bald with blue tattoos and monk clothing. So it's like try to imagine my mother as the avatar. Like that'd be an interesting thing. But
that's actually wild. That is wild.
At some point, I'm gonna get blue tattoos though. Like since I'm bald and all of that stuff, like I'm gonna get a blue tattoo on my forehead, and I'm gonna be the avatar.
Are you down for it?
Like the ultimate Halloween costume, or just do it for Halloween and get like a Sharpie marker or something. That probably might be a little better.
It's probably the safer route.
Yeah. You still want to get a job later.
Yeah, but why would you discriminate against the avatar though? Why would you not want to have the avatar?
Hey,
what's the avatar?
You want me to call you Arrow or Pointy?
But I'll be Aang.
That's right. You're bend your ass away.
Exactly. What do you mean?
Bend the music.
That's not an element. Not a 5th element.
Sound should be an element, right?
It'll probably be air.
Yeah.
I mean,
air travels with air. Yeah,
exactly. Or water. It does travel through water as well. I mean, whales and whatnot communicate and stuff.
True.
It's an interesting podcast episode.
Hey.
I mean, without Kana.
I mean, I think if Kana was there, it would have just gotten even worse because we were talking about anime.
Yeah. I mean, he'd enjoy the conversation as well. All right. So, what y'all thought about Kanye starting the church?
He wants money. That was legit the first thing that came to mind. Because people, look, I don't want to say this, but people in the States are like the Christians are very gullible, man. Give me money to buy a jet so I could fly and preach faster.
Creflo Dollar. The man's name is Creflo Dollar. He letting you know what he about from jump once you introduce this man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they can do it, Kanye West definitely can do it.
But do you feel it's right? Should he?
I mean, he shouldn't, but he's gonna anyway. Like, power to you. If there's people in the world that are gullible enough to give you money, and you know you can get away with it, and it's legal.
But I mean, but how is it different from everybody who buys Yeezys or buys his clothes that are like a $95 plain white shirt?
He still has to pay taxes for all of that. Okay. But if he opens a church, tax free.
Yeah, but
and then he has
can
a private
churches
jet.
sell stuff?
Yeah.
Really?
Have you ever bought something in a church?
No. I never bought nothing in a church. That's why I'm like, do they sell the Bible? Like, well, what do churches sell?
When they have like
if they have a big sale or something,
they can sell stuff. It's not. I mean, all the books they sell online on those TV shows, man.
Yeah, but
it goes through the church.
Those things I know might be from pastors individually. Like if a pastor wrote a book on whatever, that's like the pastor themselves. Like if when you look at
a lot of times when they sell those stuff, they legit say to fund the church. It goes through the church, tax free.
True. I don't know. I never really thought about it that in depthly when, like, in terms of.
I thought about it.
Like, I know churches.
I own a church.
I know churches accept money.
I thought about this.
True.
My grandfather was a pastor. I inherited a church. Fun facts. I rented it out.
Okay. Really?
The only reason I did not pursue that is because I'm an atheist. So.
I didn't even
tell that to your parents.
I didn't know you
I own a church and I am an atheist.
Hilarious, you know.
Yes.
Like, it really is. Rashid, what do you believe?
What a framing. What do you believe?
You mean religiously?
Yeah.
I believe in a higher power, but I am not like so bounded to religion as these different religious groups are. I mean, I definitely was raised Catholic, from school and just being in my mom, parents, all that. But my own belief is there is a higher power. But it's like
more or less agnostic. It sounds like.
I guess, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Because it's just certain things that, like, like a lot of things are done in the name of these different religious beliefs a lot of times, and it's just like even if it says, like, say hypothetically in some religion, right?
I know which religion you're talking about.
You fool. Continue with your example.
All right. Okay, so say in some religion, like, you do something bad, in the religion it is believed to, if you do something bad, then what, you get stoned or some shit, right? Like, okay, it says that in the book, right? But based on freaking human morality, just human principles, why would you go and stone somebody? Or why would you go and, do these, at least what I would consider some horrible things to people based on what a book say?
But now you bring up an interesting point there, where does morality come from?
Yeah.
There's often been debated that most of the things in modern civilization, all of our morality is derived from religion, and this, like, 100%. It provides the basic guiding principles somewhat.
I agree.
And what you deem would be a good person. Like,
really?
Yeah, I mean, don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal. These are basic,
like,
principles from the book.
There was always been a close relationship with the church and politics, ruling powers, kings and queens. The priests, the kings would consult the priest.
I understand that, but, like, have you ever, like, before, like, we were kids, right? Have you ever had the inkling to kill your mother?
No.
Before you even heard one, like, I don't think we humans are that terrible.
That depends what mother you had. You had a good mother.
No, but I mean, in the sense of when you're little kids,
if you ask somebody else that, like, I might not have had that.
Yeah.
But maybe even at some point when my mother told me no to something I wanted.
You want it? No.
It might have thought about like or running away or something like.
Oh, definitely.
Things like that, but I don't necessarily think I killing my mother or nothing like that.
I don't. Yeah, but I had to go to an extreme part, like,
and even stuff like that is one of the 10 commandments or something. Honor your mother and father and shit. So it's like it just at this point is like we more in a secular society or whatever that kind of don't hold us close, but it's still all these norms that we just kind of you get socialized with. Yeah, they came from religious places, so it's like to me. Whenever people talk about throwing religion away, even though I myself am like I wouldn't say I'm atheist necessarily. I'm more agnostic. There was a point when I kind of would consider myself atheist, but now I'm more softening up in the sense that I don't know shit.
Exactly.
Like it could be right, it could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe God is real. I don't know.
You know the thing is like because I take the term God as like. If you're a God, then you're a perfect being. And a perfect being cannot write imperfect books. A perfect being, does not have stupidness in a book that he wrote. Or that he guided a person to write. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if it's legit a deity, and it's his book, that book has to be some hell of a book, dog. It can't be.
And would you not say the Bible, the Quran, the Talmud, all these different religious texts and stuff that we've gotten over the years? To me, that alone, like humanity's fascination with spirituality in some way, whether it's like, no matter what civilization you look at, there was some connection to God, the afterlife, religion. They always, whether it's Egyptians and their interpretation, the Greeks and their interpretation, like Mayans, Incas, Christians, Catholics, Hindus.
I'm not saying that I don't think a God exists. I just don't think there's a God in any of those books or stories or whatever. I think if there's a God, it could exist. Very true. But he did not write those books.
To me, I would say yes, based on what my definition of God would be. Because to me, how I understand God to be, the only way for it to be a God, like you said, all-powerful, all-knowing type of thing, to me, the only way for that to be possible is if God is everything. To be omnipresent and omnipotent is God is everything. And God is you, God is me, God is within everything. God is like consciousness type of thing. And when people say everything is connected, when you look at it from a physics perspective, everything is connected. We all made out of the same particles, stardust as they just call it type of shit. So from that perspective, God did make those books. In
that sense, yes. But at the same time, too many people die for these books now. These books ain't perfect, but we treat them as is. As they are perfect, as they are word. So
I feel like that's debatable.
A lot of people do. I mean, the people that justifying the craziness.
To me, it's a similar conversation to feminism, to radical Islam, to the pro-black
radical
movements.
Islam is.
I mean, from the perspective of there's extremists in everything. There's feminists who give feminism a bad name, who make people be like, yeah, well, fuck everything to do with feminism because these people just a bunch of man haters. It's like, that's not like most feminists ain't necessarily saying that. Most rational feminists ain't saying the type of all men is trash type of shit, that type of rhetoric. But there certainly is certain feminists that those type of things come from. The same way with religion is like, we
can't church watch religion.
What?
Church wash, I just made up that word.
I don't know what I mean. I don't know what you're trying to say with that.
You see, Andy killed a bunch of people, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not like... Churches ain't pretty, that.
To me, that's my main reason why I don't really get behind all this Islamophobia that goes on. Because, like, but the Christians, y'all just did it 100 years earlier, going around the world, killing everybody in the name of y'all God, and now Islam is the worst thing in the world. Really? Okay, cool. If y'all say so.
Yeah, but that's
like that was my main thing for not really getting on board with all that shit, because it just don't make no goddamn sense.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be those who abuse, these different mediums in a way that it wasn't meant to be used. But there's also those who interpret like the Bible or any other religious book in different ways, and some of these people will.
That's why we got Christians, Catholics, Protestants, and all of them supposed to be Christians. All of them supposed to use the same book, more or less.
Yeah.
But certain parts I agree with, certain parts I disagree with, and then we make our own denomination and start our own.
Stoning gays, that is not a good thing.
Like you can use it as like a guideline. Like you say, I feel like modern society is definitely based on the morals that are taught in these books.
Your wife is not a tool. She's a human being. Treat her as such.
What?
It's it on the Bible?
Bye. You'll be shocked of how women were legit specified as.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of stuff in there, but I just don't know if that was one of them. Like,
your wife is your property. It's not your love. Like, she's your love, but she's more your property. She misbehaves, stone her to death.
But a lot of those things just kind of correlated with the times, more or less. It's not to say that the Bible is wrong.
Exactly, that's why it's not written by God, it's written by humans. I just threw it in there. Let's.
Okay.
This is always a difficult topic, right? When you get into like religion and morality and stuff like that, because this conversation could go on for like hours and hours, really.
It depends on your approach to your topic. If your goal is to try to convince an atheist to be a believer or a believer to be an atheist, then the conversation will go on forever. I have no interest in convincing nobody to believe what I believe. Like, I used to be a person that used to seek out arguments with people who were Christian, believing to be like, but you so stupid for believing in Christianity and God and all of these things, and God does not exist. And it's just like, for one, it's annoying. Like,
it's a waste of energy too.
Yeah. Once you realize, okay, so you're not looking at science and facts, or it's not the main driver necessarily in your decision. You just cool with belief, so your opinion is not going to change because it's not necessarily based on facts. So the whole premise of the argument is pointless.
You can't have a factual conversation when it comes around religion.
But that's not everybody though, because there are certain people that there's ways to reconcile science and belief in a way, and I feel like that's kind of where I fall, more or less. Like, I don't necessarily say there's not a God. There certainly could be. There's things that we don't know, or like there's things that kind of difficult to explain, and we don't have no empirical ways to study and prove whether they do exist or don't. But I don't know. I'm nowhere near. Maybe a super high level physicist could give you some definitive answers and stuff like that. But there's even a lot of stuff that they don't have the full story on themselves. So, there's
just some things out there that we will never learn, as humans. It's just certain things we will just never know.
Like what color? And I was going to say something fuck up, but I stopped myself.
Okay.
Because I think that would even be past rated R, dog. That would have been something like rated S for stop. But yeah.
But another topic that I kind of wanted to address, because I think that we kind of discussed Kanye's church sufficiently, even though it just turned into a general religious conversation and all of that.
But I think it was just obvious from the get-go. He wants money. He asked the Facebook CEO for $1 billion. Like, wasn't it last year or 2 years ago? Like, Kanye West just wants money. Like, if no one understands that at this point, he married probably one of the...
Somebody on her way to being a super wealthy person. She definitely got it. But, yeah, that's Kanye. Anyway, the question that I kind of wanted to ask, that was kind of tied into topics from last week, when you was talking to, like, the Nipsey stuff, and, I mean, you wasn't there for that episode, but just the whole accountability and all of that stuff that me and Kana kind of get into, like, Kana, boy. Interesting character, Interesting character.
Sorry to hear that he has explosive diarrhea.
But it just led me to kind of wondering about something, which is basically like stuff that people like a Candace Owens be talking about regarding victimhood and the mentality that a lot of black people have, and how it kind of is trapped in this victim mentality and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like, in a way, that was kind of the essence of what the debate kind of was between like Kana and then the rest of us, more or less, him kind of representing that ideology to some degree. Not to say that that Kana is Candace Owens, but
he was.
There's some there's some ideological similarity. Whereas like his main thing is he wants there to be accountability, which is something that I certainly wholeheartedly agree with. But
but I think it's from a case to case basis. Like in certain aspects, and also depending on where you grow up and what the circumstances is of your surroundings.
I guess like my question out of all of this kind of would be, for example, when it comes to raising a child, do you feel it's better to like let your child know that, for example, because you're black, you might have to work twice as hard, or you might be judged differently and all these things? It's something that I just flip in my mind a lot on which side I kind of fall under, on like which one is the right way, in the sense that I feel like when you, by putting race and everything that supposedly comes along with race on your child from a super young age, in certain ways, I have a fear that will limit their possibilities and start to think, oh, because I'm black, I probably wouldn't be able to consider this career path, or I shouldn't try this or this. Like,
I find it is changing slowly but surely. Like, I don't even know, like, if I ever get a child, or if I adopt one, God knows. If I would have to say that, but I do know in my, like, me growing up, that was obviously still a thing. But it still depends on where you're living. If you're living in the States,
let's say you have a child here.
If it was in Amsterdam, I don't know. If it was in Amsterdam, I don't know. Honestly, I'm trying to like.
That was a long pause, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting question.
In the States, for sure. No doubt about it.
Like, not to put on a hoodie. Like, there's all these things that kind of just go along with being, or if, for example, some shit happening and they're hanging with some white kids and the white kids doing some shit and being like, you know, you can't necessarily be doing that, or you can't do this, all the same things they do. The reaction, the consequences might be harsher for you if you get in trouble doing some stuff. Because things like that certainly was told to me. Not exactly in that way, but it's just things that, like, my mother never wanted me playing with guns and things like that.
Smart mom.
And yeah, even water guns. I mean, water guns. Like, well, I wanted a water gun. I wanted a Nerf shit that I see on the TV, like the Super Soaker and all of those types of shit. Like,
my mom was on the same energy, boy. Like I remember Burger King had these water gun toys or whatever, and I was like, boy, I don't know if my mom gonna let me play with this one, but when Burger King get me that toy, playing with it, shoot my brother with the water, pew pew. Mother get upset, boy.
You go pew pew. You go pew pew. No, but I don't know. Like, in growing up in the Caribbean, in Aruba, like, I never thought about it.
Yeah.
It was never presented to me in that way, because everybody that Aruba's just a mixed pot. And
like you said earlier, I definitely think
there is definitely racism, but it's not like
it's more colorism than racism.
Yeah.
In the Caribbean, black or color isn't really an identifier the same way it is over here or in the States and those type of countries where it's majority white. If everybody's black, it's like
you're not in the minority. Then
you don't identify or draw tribal lines just based on color in a place where everybody's black. Then you find like,
and it's also like
Ebenezer versus whatever hood or things like that.
And it's also when you have like an island that's mixed with a bunch of Latin and like what? Yeah,
and that's where you get colorism being a thing, because it certainly is light skin privilege versus dark skin, and like you see difference in the way people are treated than certain comments people would make and different things like that versus light skin and dark skin. That certainly exists within the Caribbean for sure, but the same type of racism type of thing. But I don't know. I just wonder about that, and I don't know what the answer is in a sense. Like,
I think it's a case by case basis.
Yeah,
it's a case.
It's based on different factors as well. Like you said earlier, Like,
I for sure would be happier to raise my black child here than in the States. That for sure.
I just feel like in some ways, like a lot of the stuff that I know, it taints your view, it changes your view a little bit, and I just wonder sometimes if it's the right way for your view to be like just knowing different things. How early do you bring into stuff about slavery and all of these type of things, and that in some ways,
I mean, you have to talk about it, right? Because like it's.
But when do you, and like it, part of me does be like, the whole purpose of like being a parent in some ways is to make sure that your children, the things that you learn later in life, make sure that your children know these things early to set them up better, potentially make sure that they know more than you and they could expand on whatever knowledge you passing down type of vibe.
You want to know what I think? You know what's the best time to tell your child about that? The same time you're going to talk to your child about sex. Just blow his whole mind up like in one shot. You're 10 years old, we got to talk about something.
Just drop everything on him. I need 10.
Like, I just feel like in a way you need to, you do it kind of when the problem presents itself.
Yeah.
Like, if my child goes to school, for example, and at that point, maybe the teacher says something about white and black and you realize, oh, I'm black kid. I don't know, like the first time the child is presented with race or something like that, and they come home and ask a question and be like, Daddy, what is race or something like that?
Yeah.
And then you handle it there, you explain, you teach enough that the child is able to understand at that age, so that it's not necessarily like I'm walking around with all these things. Because like I remember a particular friend of mine, he was just like, his mindset was, because he's aware of how the system is kind of set up against you type of vibe, is like, he didn't even feel like finishing college there was no point to him finishing college because he's not gonna get a job anyway because he's black and all these other type of things. Like, and it just had me like, to me that was one of the saddest things I ever heard. That's like, you're not even gonna finish school to try to see if you could get the job before you done decide, well, I'm black, the system against me.
Yeah.
And that has been my main worry. Like, when I kind of, the things that I might kind of see as conscious or pro-black, being aware of some of the injustices that happen against you and stuff like that, being so entrenched in all of these things and just feeling like it's trapped and it's limiting and there's like a ceiling. Like, that has been my main worry with some of this thing. Like, is it really beneficial to know this shit if it just makes you hate white people potentially or something like that? Like
it's at the end of the day, it depends on the person, right? Like, you can only inform your child so much. In the end of the day, your child is the one who's going to make the decision. Some people get that same story and then they fight to prove the system wrong. And some people hear that story and then come up to that conclusion. You understand? So it's like we cannot erase our history because we learn from the past. That's how the future goes on. Without the past, we keep doing the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over again. That's why veganism is rising. I need to throw that in.
I see you've been going extra ham on your vegan promotion and whatnot on your Facebook these days. I'd just watch all the vegan posts pass.
Yeah, I mean,
like you hate on all the meat eaters and whatnot.
I don't hate meat eaters.
So when you go see him outside with the mask on, with the laptop in front of him, showing cows being slaughtered in the protest.
I mean, everybody has their mission in life.
True.
Is veganism yours?
I don't think it's. Obviously, it is. I define myself as a vegan, so. But I don't like.
Would you say that's the most important aspect of who Woods is as a person?
In terms of morally wise, maybe. Because it's not just for animals. It's just for the environments, for my kids' future. Like what I'm thinking about now is not for my own self, but it's for like my kids. For example, like if we don't take care of what we have right now, like what are my kids going to have? Like if we go back on Aruba, how's Aruba going to look like? For example. So that's my mind state. So when we talk about veganism, that's like more. It encompasses the environment and all of that.
Like I was just watching this David Attenborough documentary series, Our Planet on Netflix. Like, it's a really, really, really dope documentary series. Like, some of the images that they got is so, like,
it's dope, huh?
It's super rare images, and like the whole time I was just thinking, who the fuck filmed this shit? Like, where were you? Have to be following these animals forever to happen to come across this moment. Like, there's a lot of super rare moments that they got in it, and it's just, I feel like everything was shot with the highest quality camera that ever existed, because just the image quality is like everything really, really pretty.
Yeah, you get some real close-ups too.
Yeah,
like in the plants and what happening inside the plants.
They got some of the dopest time lapses. That's like, why were you filming this for this long to see this evolve in such a way? It's like, where was this camera set up? Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of dope shit that was happening, and the main reason why, what made me think on this is like a central point, and I was like showing like this is the ecosystem. This is all the animals that kind of survive in this ecosystem. Like, one episode is about the coastal ocean, so you went into the reefs and look at all the animals, the sharks and different things that kind of live in that environment, the open oceans, the tundra, and all these different things, and look at the declining, the amount of animals that nearing extinction and all these things as a result of human interactions and different ways, whether it's overfishing or loss of habitat and all of these things. And it's like, it's fucking sad. Like, is such a bittersweet type of thing where it's like you're looking at the beauty of nature, then just knowing like, well, it might not be there much longer. Like, this is the last 5 rhinos and we happen to show you them now. Like, that type of vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you don't have no proper way to slide off conversation.
I mean, it's a very. The thing is, we've been unconscious of what we've been doing to this planet for a while, for too long. Or a lot of people knew, but they're just ignorant. But like, it's not going to be our generation, but I find that our generation, our kids' generation, is going to be like the true pioneers in terms of being more earth conscious, because they're growing. They are like we were the beginning. Like, people say, don't forget to recycle, and they always showed you like that recycling, like signing, like that was our exposure to it. But they never actually explained like why we need to do it. And now kids are growing up and they're legit getting bombarded with like, why we need to do this, why we need to do that, what effect it has on the planet, what's happening with the animals. This is why the younger generation are faster to go vegan. No, not our generation, but the ones behind us, because they are more conscious too.
They don't have any preconceived notions. Exactly. They don't got none all the trash information that we might have necessarily gotten. Not to say that everything that they getting is the right information.
Right information, but it's in terms of the environment.
There's nothing to battle against. There's no cognitive dissonance, because if you don't have no information, you just take it in until you have information and be like, oh, okay, cool. Now we can actually think critically, and until you get some other information, some conflicting information. But
2 days ago, I blew my cousin's mind.
How so?
I was like, you like eating chicken, right? He said, yeah, I love eating chicken. I said, would you eat a chicken that's your pet? He was like, why would I eat my pet? Then I told him, you know they eat dogs in China?
And he just didn't know none of this?
Like? Nope. He's like 7 years old.
Okay.
You scarred a man at 7?
No, I mean, I just like...
Indoctrination. It begins. The propaganda.
Get them from young.
No, but like...
That's basically what it is.
But honestly, like, when I was... Like you just get food, right? You eat it. Like, you don't know where it comes from. You don't, like...
Hitting him with the propaganda from young. I feel you.
It's effective.
I don't tell him to go vegan. I just
pushing the facts out there.
Yeah,
I was watching an episode of the Joe Rogan podcast where one of his guests had presented like an interesting kind of perspective on the whole climate change thing. And his whole idea more or less was that climate change is not that big of an issue, in the sense that if you look at the exponential growth of technology and all of these things, and how much people are learning about quantum computing and these types of things, that computers can get, and like artificial intelligence as well, how far are we going with these things, and the speed that it's progressing at, that basically we can just create a super smart AI who can be able to solve all the trivial type of problems that we worrying about today technologically, or like we just not able to think about, and that's more or less the reason, like, climate change isn't really that big of a deal, in the sense that if we continue the way we're going, if we don't completely fuck it up, like, he's confident that a lot of these things will be kind of figured out in the future, and he's some super smart, like, astrophysicist type guy that got multiple degrees and all kind of shit. Like, he looks like a real hippie, like, we're just looking at him. But
yeah, you know, the thing is, like, if I've learned one thing in my very, very short life, don't underestimate how stupid we humans can be. No? If we fuck up something, we fuck it up.
Yeah.
So,
you know, sometimes I wonder.
I don't trust us.
Sometimes I wonder
as a collective,
if we gonna ever reach that point, the point of singularity. You know what?
And the company, the same dude, he's working with a company called Singularity Net, and all they focus on is blockchain technology. He's like, he's an astrophysicist, but he's like a computer science guy. Like, that's one of the main things. Dude is like 60 or some shit. Like, dude old, but he looks like a hippie and thing. Like, dude really, really into, like, man got lots of degrees, working on shit that's like revolutionary type vibe. I forget his name, but I remember I looked like it was something I could point y'all, let y'all watch that episode of the Joe Rogan podcast. But
you got curly hair?
Yeah,
black curly hair.
I don't need to find an image, but I
think I know what you're talking about.
He was one of his guests not too long ago. But artificial intelligence and all of those things is just fascinating.
Yeah.
But they're gonna take over. They're going to see that they're going to see that we are the ones. We are the problem, dog.
Then we have a whole Thanos situation.
The whole Earth was working perfectly until humans came along and fucked it up. We contribute nothing to this world, no. We just take.
I kind of agree with the dude's perspective in the sense that the biosphere, like Earth's ecosystem, it's all in balance in a sense. It all depends on how you look at it. Like, there's more humans, so there's less animals. It's only logical. When you look at it from the perspective that I would be curious to see, like, if you could measure the amount of just matter there was on Earth, and I'm sure it's just the exact same amount of matter. It's just changed form. Like, there's less animals, there's more humans.
That makes sense.
Like, certain things, less plants, certain plant species die out, but we got a whole bunch more humans. And these plastic and all these other things, like, I'm sure the same amount of particles
for sure,
exist in the Earth. It just changes form in different ways.
You have to make something, you have to destroy something else.
It's like,
but
people don't like that kind of approach because it's a very not like human approach. It's not human centric in the sense that people think we're the most important, that we're any different to a species of plant dying or some shit. Like, it's just our time now, and I feel like a lot of species and plants may be dying out, but that don't mean there might not be some new shit to take its place or something.
Or we just become a dead planet like Mars.
I don't feel like that ever gonna happen because we all might die out, but the rich folks don't got the contingency plans and how they gonna move on Mars and all this type of shit. Like, not the average person might not have access to it, but the bunkers and shit that they probably got built somewhere in the ark.
Rich.
Yeah. The humans gonna survive. Like, I'm pretty confident in that. It just might not be us. Like, probably won't be like maybe 2 black people might be there or something, but
the tokens.
Yeah,
just for history's sake.
Genetic diversity.
No, but I don't know. Honestly, we gonna fuck it up. I think that's the conclusion of today.
Want to touch another topic? I want to close it off.
Let's go one more topic. I just know humans gonna fuck it up.
So, talking about all this race stuff. You find that there was a black band-aid or controversy around there being a black band-aid. Just a weird segue. I know it's not necessarily, we wasn't talking about number race, but
I don't know. Like, I just saw it. I thought, like, are we really, like, I understand. Don't get me wrong. If there's an issue and you want a black band-aid, school.
You see, the thing is, for a long time, I didn't even associate the band-aid color with, like, it's supposed to be nude. It's supposed to be, like, the color of skin.
Yeah.
Like, I never even thought of that for a long time until, because I remember when I saw that there was somebody who was making a black band-aid, it wasn't until that moment that it actually realized that, oh, this is supposed to be nude. To me, this is just Band-Aid color. Because even on white people, in my opinion, it don't blend with their skin neither. So to me, it was like, this just Band-Aid color. Is like, it's not white or... But I also learned that ballet shoes is a similar thing that this same thing happened with. Like, the whole idea of the color of ballet shoes is supposed to... The funny little pointy toe thingies that they just wear, whatever it is, like those are meant to be blonde, meant to be nude as well. Like it's supposed to be an extension of the foot type of thing, and it's just supposed to look like not a shoe. And I never thought about this until it was like considering black ballet dancers was like this was always a problem in the way that they would dye their shoes and this type of thing to get colors, the ones that match them. And it's like because they never made ballet shoes in this color, and I don't care about ballet like that. So I mean, these things that I never considered or thought about like that until I saw this article, and I was like,
you know, in that sense, I can get it way more than a Band-Aid. Because I gotta look, fight the good fight. But I understand way more if that's the whole look that a ballet dancer is supposed to look, that there's supposed to be a unity in the costume or whatever. Then okay, then pick up the pitchforks and say, yo, we want matching skin tone shoes. Understand? I get it. Who is the Band-Aid affecting, dog? Yeah. Who's trying to hide that they got a Band-Aid on?
Yeah.
See, like this, like certain fights, like, and this, sometimes we need to really, like, this gonna sound like black people be connecting in a singularity type of way. That doesn't happen. White people don't get frightened.
He's a fool.
But we need to pick our battles, man, because sometimes it makes us look like we like legit fighting every little thing to make a problem out of it.
It sounds like a reach.
Yeah, and like sometimes it makes the collective look wrong. You're making us look wrong, man. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, that goes back to what we were saying earlier with like the feminism example and stuff like that. Yeah. I certainly agree, and I feel like Band-Aids is not the hill to die on.
No. Exactly.
It really is not deep. It really is not.
Imagine a black that's like a black dog just like, yo, I gotta put a Band-Aid, but I don't want to put a white Band-Aid on a black child, so I ain't putting a Band-Aid on him at all.
I will say though, I did feel like slightly weird when I was talking to this white person and they hit me with like the black people emojis, like. Because like, I didn't know how to feel in the sense that I don't know if this is racist, but it feels a little weird to me. Like, because I use the black people emojis that is like pretty close to my skin color, and I feel like, you know, this is like how it's supposed to be. Use the things that you're supposed to show you on it. So I was like, why using the black thumbs up or whatever it was, like.
Oh my god!
I'm off here.
No, you're not. You're not.
It could have been a slip.
A slip.
I don't know.
Like a quick, like a da-da, you know, like.
Then correct it.
That would have caused some other type of controversies. Like, what, you don't want to use the black emoji? Like, you know, like it's like anything that person would have said afterwards, it would have been a bad. Like,
I just continued the conversation because I didn't know, like, do I make this an issue? Like, is this really something that's like that big of an issue?
Would it have been an issue if they did what they did and then corrected and put a white one? It would. Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you mean by
like,
that?
I open the WhatsApp, I see the one, then they delete the message and thing. Then like, I don't know. To me, it's just weird that they did it in the beginning. Like, why would you ever use the black emoji as a white person?
Just listening to it got me confused a little bit.
This is why emojis just have to stay
yellow.
But then that's racist because supposedly Chinese Asian people
they're not yellow.
Supposedly that was like the old categories in the Christian song. Used to be all the people of the world red, yellow, black, and white.
No, we ain't quoting any Christian song in terms of racism, dog. Stop.
I'm just saying that's what the song said.
No.
Jesus love. You know the song. I'm sure you know the song.
I grew up in the
that song in years, boy.
Hillside Christian School, boy.
Yeah.
That was the primary school.
Yeah. So before we wrap up today,
another light note.
I find that this is a very good topic for three black guys to be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay to call white people white walkers? I mean, they're white and they walk.
Yes, I get where you're coming from, but for some reason, I think that they might find that offensive. I'm not sure why, but I'm pretty sure they might consider that offensive.
I mean, would you find it offensive if someone called you a black walker?
I'll be like,
you're
why
black
are you calling me a black walker to begin with? That's just like a weird name because black walkers don't exist. So like, where you pulling this from? That sounds kind of racist, homie.
Exactly. But here, there is a context. I know where I'm pulling it from. I'm not calling you a demonic demon. Demon.
But zombies basically got these the undead. Like, that's what a white walkers more or less is.
Yeah.
Like, ain't no positive connotations with calling somebody a white walker.
Nah.
Hey, you live forever?
Okay, I guess.
You got blue eyes? I mean, even that. If you white and you have blue eyes, I'm sorry.
You're
a white walkers to me. I don't trust you. Don't touch my kid with your pinky and make him into a demon.
Wow. You see, this is that type of racism that is talking about. This is that reverse racism that I just hear people talking about, black people being racist towards white folks.
I mean,
see, I gotta be Kana, Kana would have called you out and now say you're being racist towards white folks if Kana was here.
Am I being racist though?
But like, what's the point of calling people white walkers?
Because Woods thinks it's funny.
Because I'm a Game of Thrones fan and I'm an asshole. That's
okay, well, if you flip it and they had black walkers instead of white walkers and they call black people black walkers, then
I mean, if it's in a joke and if it's funny and if I'm laughing, I won't punch you in the face. I mean, that's it, right? If you're funny enough, some people can say some shit and if it's funny, just be like, man, you made me laugh. Mm-hmm. You would have survived for today.
That's true.
It's all in the context. Like, if you're a Game of Thrones fan and you're white and I call you a white walker, it's going to be hilarious. I cannot see like in a bubble that you're a Game of Thrones fan. I cannot see someone be offended by being called a white walker if you're a Game of Thrones fan. It's just hilarious. There's no black people in Game of Thrones, so
no.
Yeah, there's whatchamacallit.
I mean, in the sense of in the later seasons. But I mean, in the beginning, it was only white people doing white shit.
I mean,
they have to go across the continent.
Isn't what's his name Polynesian?
Yeah.
Jason Momoa or whoever it was that was playing the Dothraki.
He's the same guy that does Aquaman.
Yeah.
Jason
and
Momoa.
he in Polynesian or something like that or something.
No, if you went to the other side of the continent, where they have a bunch of these colored guys fighting in the white woman's army.
That's what I was gonna say. Like Daenerys and her assistant, the chick with the curly hair.
But I find it funny that they go to another continent, like that's like the Africa of that world, where they're like exceptional fighters.
I mean,
the parallels
are quite there.
I mean, you could do the same thing with Avatar. I mean, the Fire Nation is the U.S.
True. But
evil people warring and trying to invade everybody's country. Mm-hmm. I mean, depending on how you look at it.
I mean, yeah.
The Earth Kingdom is Africa.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I Instagram removing the likes. That's the one topic that before we close off, I actually wanted to get to. Hopefully, ain't too long of a deep dive into it.
I think that's a good... overall, it's a good thing. Because influencers got to find a new job. Or they going to prove they got a bunch of likes. It's just one heart. That
was the one thing that...
So one person like your pick.
I see it as good and bad from that same thing. In the sense that it's like... That's a big thing for creators and different people who want to come to show like, yo, this is how much I'm worth. This is my leverage.
I mean, you could still... I'm sure you're still going to be able to show your engagement, the insights, because there's still going to be statistics in terms of how many people saw your post. So it would be more like how YouTube does it. No, how YouTube does it in the sense that you could still see how many views there were. But in terms of the nitty gritty, then you have to like there's certain stuff that we know that we're privy to that other people don't know in terms of. They know, okay, they got 1 million views, but where did those views come from?
Like, that's why, in a way, I was thinking more like Snapchat, that basically it would be more like how Snapchat works in a way. Like, you have no idea how many followers the people you follow have. Like, unless they screenshot their stuff and show it, like, you have no idea how many, you just using this thing and you don't know, like, information about what other people doing.
Exactly. I think that's actually how Instagram is going to approach it. So if I have 1,000 likes, I can see that I have 1,000 likes, but you cannot see it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's overall like, especially for the younger generation. I think this is a good thing, honestly, because everybody be fighting for those likes,
for the instant gratification.
For the we need a break. We need a break of we need solutions.
It would be interesting if this would curb Tekashi 6ix9ine's, like
interesting.
The clout chasing that goes on, the wilding out on the IG to get all the likes and the followers type of shit. If this kind of would reduce the incentive,
I don't think it would reduce it though, because people would still be liking and still be following.
I feel like people would just do the same thing that certain like the Snapchat people is do, is like they gonna show how much people they have anyway, like just show the insights that they have access to, post that, screenshot it or whatever. And then you still end up being like, oh, well, look, I'm stunting because I got more followers than you.
Yeah,
you just can't see my followers.
It would look a little sad if you posting a post that's showing how many likes you got. Like, are you that desperate?
I don't know.
It would
people
be sad until it becomes the standard.
Like, exactly. I've seen enough people that do it. Like, I don't really be on Snapchat much like that anymore, but I've seen like some of the influencers, like the Khaleds and stuff like that. Sometimes when they post something, the people who like have significant amounts of followers, or some of the Instagram model type people that also have a Snapchat, they would post like just scrolling down, looking at how many notifications they got type of shit. Like, I've seen those types of posts, and even by like lesser known people on Instagram, I've seen people showing like, oh, like this person just liked all my pictures and type of thing. I've seen this behavior from girls and stuff before.
So you think people gonna just find another way to find this gratification that they don't get from the likes anymore?
Yeah, I feel like as long as the likes are there, if the likes still are a thing, it's just not visible.
Yeah,
I don't see nothing changing necessarily. They're just gonna adapt and be like, oh, let me stunt and brag about my followers
or they legit have to just move it. So you
know what I'm saying? Like,
but then
something like that maybe might help.
Because then the only thing you could clout is the amount of followers you have.
But weren't they contemplating like hiding that as well? Or
that would be weird.
Why? Because then it's just basically like almost exactly like Snapchat in a sense. Like likes, you don't see that, there's likes don't even exist on Snapchat.
I mean, you could still get a heart, but nobody's going to know that you got a heart.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, I don't know.
It'd be interesting.
You excited?
To see.
You looking forward to it?
I don't care.
How do we feel?
I don't care. Like I work.
You don't use Instagram, so I guess that's irrelevant.
I use my Instagram for my music stuff, for my DJ and stuff. But like, if I have 1,000 followers or 4,000 or 10,000, I don't really care. I just need a platform to post my stuff.
So in that sense, right? How do you gauge if the public is,
if they're fucking with it or not?
Exactly.
Like that's the tricky thing. If they remove likes completely,
as an artist or as a creative, how do you know if the public, fuck with your shit?
You know, the
you gotta rely on comments, I guess.
You know, the thing is, like, a lot of people be buying them likes anyways, so
that is a thing.
You don't even know what is real and what is not, what is true engagement.
Yeah, but there's signs. I mean, you can see when something don't make it. You can't have 1 million followers and you get 10 likes on each of your pictures. Then that lets me know something is off.
Something is off. Yeah, that's true.
If you got 1 million followers, I'd like to see at least maybe get a couple 100,000. That's something.
That's an extreme version of it. But I mean, in the sense of like, I think even the people that have like legit following, they buy likes to get the whole thing started.
I could see that.
So I don't honestly like the word fake, dog.
Yeah,
don't believe anything, dog.
Instagram certainly is a great example of that. But if the discrepancy between how many followers you have and how many likes you get and the comments and shit like that, yeah, there's a kind of declining ratio. Like, okay, you got 100 followers, probably 10 of those people might actually like your stuff. Like, it's to me, it's usually like a third of your people, maybe something like 10%, something like that. That's usually how it goes. How many followers you have? What would you say is like the average amount of likes you get on a post? You got like what, 2,000 or something like
that? I got
or more. I don't know. I ain't been on your profile in a while.
I got 3,900 something. But
almost 4,000. And the average amount of likes you get on a post,
honestly, it varies. If I post
if it's a picture of, if it's an actual picture of you, because those tend to be the pics that get the most likes.
If it's a picture of me, then it hovers around like 300. But sometimes certain pictures get like 100 something. It's all of, then we're going in the algorithm thing, and it depends on what people get to see and when you post it, and like,
and that brings up an even different issue with Instagram.
I don't like. I was like in the beginning, I was really up to date with that, but it's exhausting, man. It's exhausting. So I just do. And the people that like it, the people that don't like it, don't like it. That's it. That's life.
That's pretty much all he could do, indeed.
Yeah, man.
Pretty much all he can do.
I don't know, dog. Just be happy, man.
How do you think that would work for Facebook? If Facebook were to move the likes and stuff?
It would destroy the economy.
How so?
I don't know. I just want to say that. Sounded dramatic.
He's a fool.
But honestly, with that said, I think it's time for us to wrap up.
Yeah, I only asked that question to try to bring Rashid into the conversation a little more, since he actually has a Facebook account and you don't have an IG. And that's the only reason I asked that question.
Yeah, but even then, I'm not like active on it. Like, I'd just be scrolling on the feed looking for nonsense.
Sharing the link up.
The only reason
which we appreciate.
The only reason I still have a Facebook is because of my school, and I hate my school because of that.
Okay, all right. Well, I think we've said all we had to say. I mean, this was in my mind going to be a short episode, and we spent an hour and a half talking.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's we comfortable with one another.
Content for the people. Yeah. Content for the peoples. But yeah, with all of that being said, Woods, you got plugs and stuff?
I mean,
before we wrap up completely.
Honestly, no.
I mean, you had a whole bunch of parties.
Yeah, I had a whole bunch of parties. A couple already passed. A couple parties coming up, but I think I'm going to talk about that on the next episode. Like, I'm going to let y'all leave.
Get a break this episode.
Yeah. We talk enough.
Alright, well, the only thing I got to plug is the same as usual that it has been for the past weeks. Check out FBR, Flyover, Real, Is You Crazy, all the good stuff by the Three Conscious Cats, as well as the music by Mr. King, like Criminal and the Hardest on the Rock Challenge. Go check out all of that stuff. Stream it on preferably Tidal, the streaming service that pays the most, by the way, in case you didn't know. And yeah.
Shout out to Jay-Z.
Yeah. Or is one of them that pays the most. I mean, I saw a list on this recently, and it was a little different. Tidal wasn't at the top.
We don't have the time for this right now.
It was Napster. Napster apparently pays the most, according to that picture. And I was like, I didn't even know Napster exists still, but Napster pays the most.
They do.
But anyway, Rashid, you got anything you want to let the people know?
Nah, man, I good.
Ain't making any anime hidden in the back there?
Nah, not yet. You know, if I have anything, I'll let y'all know for sure. But as of now, none.
All right.
Chilling.
Cool. So, well, with all of that being said, peoples, we appreciate you for listening, tuning in for the hour and a half. If you did, and if you didn't, well, you should. But you may hear this anyway, so it don't matter.
Exactly.
But with all of that being said, peoples, we'll see you the next time we link up.
Peace.
Done.